It seems like the rain has been nonstop, but one thing that has seemed to stop, the WGA strike.
Finally.
Potentially, the lights are starting to flicker back on in Hollywood after 146 days on the picket lines. The Writers Guild of America reached a tentative agreement to end its strike.
So here's what we know. The final details still being hammered out between the WGA and the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, but we do know some positive signs.
Yeah, it's encouraging. And to really understand what this all means, of course, we have to bring in our expert, entertainment reporter, Sandy Kenyon. Sandy, thank you for being here with us.
Thrilled to be here.
I mean, it took almost 5 months. What took so long?
Well, I think you have to look at these strikes. I can remember this is a week shorter than a strike I covered as a young reporter back in 1988, and I can still remember the stakeouts outside the Motion Picture Alliance, you know, all-night stakeouts and stuff. And this is about the future, as that strike was. The last time that the actors and writers were on strike at the same time, 1960, because that was over residuals. No residuals before 1960. That 1988 strike, that was about home video, getting a fair share of the profits from the then burgeoning home video, which now isn't a factor. Now we're talking about artificial intelligence. And apparently, hours were spent yesterday, reportedly, hammering out these protections from artificial intelligence, this concept that a machine might one day be able to write a script, and one day soon.
And residuals for streaming as well?
Residuals for streaming is very important, and although they're very different unions, the actors remain on strike, and Variety had a very interesting report this morning, quoting now that this should help actors, continuing to quote, "It will hasten the end of the actors' strike." How come? Because some of this really heavy lifting around residual streaming and around AI is been done now.
The precedent's been set.
Yeah,
okay.
Well, it's a little different. It's a much smaller union, about 11,000 people and 150,000 in the actors. One point I'd like to make, we see the top of the pyramid when we think about show business. We think about the rich people, the actors, the famous people. That is just the tip of a huge pyramid. This is an industry that employs 2.5 million people. Hundreds of thousands of blue-collar workers have been out of work. And I'll leave you with one story from the New York Times. Faye Lauren is a makeup artist from our area, and she had to move down to Florida. In with her parents in a retirement community, and this is the face of the strike. These are the people that have been impacted.
Having such a difficult time to make ends meet, but really trying to make a point.
That's right.
And we do think about the rich and the famous, but I can speak from personal experience. My residual checks that I get from work as a kid don't even cover the postage. They're 25 cents, they're 35 cents, and that is the most common story, and that's why it's important for everyone in the industry to have the right deal in place.
Before we let you go, we got about 45 seconds or so left. So what happens next? You were telling me in the newsroom earlier, we're going to start to see the talk shows, the late night shows specifically, that impacted first, and then what happens from there?
Yeah, the deal is going to be ratified, big prediction there, by the leadership tomorrow. And then writers can start writing. They have said the pickets is suspended for the writers. The actors remain on the street. But while this deal is being ratified by the membership, writing can begin again.
Okay,
so
they can
Jimmy
get back
Kimmel
to work.
will be able to see some of that stuff back. Sandy, great to have you at the
This
table
is
here
so
talking
good.
about
You are a wealth
back.
of knowledge, my friend. So we appreciate it very